Folks, here on the Steve Cortes Show, our focus, of course, is politics, and we do it intensely, and I'd like to think that we do it well, but politics can't be our whole existence, particularly in days like this when, let's be frank, a lot of the news flow is pretty dang negative. So I want to talk about things away from politics, things like entertainment, particularly movies, and to help me break down movies and other entertainment, really pleased to be joined by a fantastic reviewer and writer, and that is Jacob Airy. He writes for Studio Jake Media. Now, Jacob, he's been a friend of the show for a while. Jacob, I want to ask you, the show that I've been watching lately, and I'm only in the beginning episode, so I'm behind the times on this, but I've been watching The Crown, and I have to say, I think the acting is just fantastic. Your thoughts about The Crown?
Oh, I love The Crown. I have actually watched both season 1 and season 2. I think it's a phenomenal show. Like you say, the acting is fantastic, and I actually think the acting gets better as the show goes on. Now, of course, in season 2, they bring in on a totally different cast, but they act just as well. Although I will say, I do like Queen Elizabeth in season 1. I like that actress a lot better, but still, it's a fantastic show. I think that they do a really great job.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's terrific. Would recommend it to the audience. But speaking of recommendations, I know you have some recommendations and in different genres. So tell us, what should we be watching, Jacob Airy?
Well, for those of you who like action films, I wanted to recommend Bloodshot. It is a comic book film, but it's one of those where you can't really tell. It stars Vin Diesel as this soldier who's being manipulated by this scientist, and he gets these superpowers where he can heal and he's extra strong and all this. And they keep sending him after criminals and convince him that particular criminal is who killed his wife. And it's a really interesting story. A lot of critics hated it because it is kind of like a mindless action movie. Like, it doesn't go too deep, but it's great just to turn off your brain and enjoy something.
And hey, not everything has to be serious or, important or scholarly, right? So, okay,
right, exactly,
that's one. Okay, how about another, please?
Well, for the whole family, I would recommend The Willoughbys. It's an animated film on Netflix. It's exclusively on Netflix, and it's just a really good old-fashioned animated story. It's about these 4 kids, and their parents are just horrible parents. They actually abandon their kids at one point in the movie, and it's just about how these kids survive and then make up a new family as they come together. And I really liked it because it explains the importance of parenthood, but also about sibling love and just a spirit of adventure. I really think it's really good. It has Martin Short as one of the voice actors in it. He, of course, does a great job. Ricky Gervais voices the family cat, who only you as the audience can tell he is talking. Of course, he does a fantastic job in that role as well. Okay, fantastic. And then you have another recommendation for us. Right. For horror films, I'm going to recommend the controversial, for some reason, The Hunt, which was originally supposed to come out in 2019. It, of course, faced some backlash because of the trailer, but I actually took time to watch it, and it's actually a pretty good film. It does attack conservatives, but to be fair to it, it attacks liberals as well. I thought it was perfectly even with its criticisms of both sides. Of course, for those of you who don't know, it's about these liberal elites who capture conservatives and then hunt them. And it's meant to be like a dark comedy, but it's got a lot of horror elements that is very common with Blumhouse features. So a lot of gore, a lot of blood, a lot of language. Definitely, after the kids go to bed, pick this one out. But I actually had a good time watching it, and I'm actually glad it came out in 2020 instead of 2019. And I am curious to see that, because I didn't like, frankly, that a lot of I shouldn't say a lot, but there were at least some conservatives out there that sort of wanted this film canceled, and I just generally don't believe in that on principle. But on top of it, I haven't seen it yet. But to your point, I'm told that it's pretty biting to both sides. That it really goes after both the right and the left. When you say that it's kind of a dark comedy, is it sort of like Fargo in that way? That, you're talking about awful, events, but they're actually doing it in a darkly humorous way. Is it similar? Yes, it's very similar to that, I would say. Just probably a little bit more blood and gore than Fargo has. But yeah, I do recommend it. Like I said, it's tonally even. It goes after both sides. And Betty Gilpin, she plays the main protagonist who's trying to survive this hunt, and she does a fantastic job. She is top-notch and definitely the breakout star of the film. All right, I appreciate it. So, Jacob, where should folks go to access your work and your reviews? Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Real Jacob Berry. Parler's the same at Real Jacob Berry. And my website is studiojakemedia.com. I've got all my reviews, all my commentary there.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being my guest, and have a wonderful weekend, Jacob.
You too. Thank you for having me on.
You bet. Thank you.